Hey, it's Alyssa Sequoia. Welcome to my podcast, Flow with Me. I'll be sharing thoughts, ideas, stories, my music, my comedy, and whatever flows through in the moment. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy. The guy who pulled my tooth is amazing, extremely gentle. Didn't even know it happened when he did it. He said, "Okay, we're done." I said, What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Right? Like the tooth, he pulled it out. It was extracted. Didn't even know. He is that gentle. He sings to you. He talks to you the entire time. He's going, "Hey, this is spectac. Okay, love it. This is phenomenal. Love it, love it." He's singing. He is something truly special. However, he works out of an office owned by a Trump guy. I know that. Why do I know that? Because he drops little hints around, right? Like when you walk in, there's a sign at the front desk like, "America's back, baby." I'm going, oh, geez. Oh, boy. Here we go. Okay. And I've been okay with it because that was the extent of it that I experienced. And then I get my tooth checked out and get the fuck out. However, yesterday I went for a checkup and I'm sitting in the waiting room and this guy walks in and the women at the front desk were like, "How you doing?" Whatever the fuck your name is. And he was like, "How am I doing? I'm great. Living in the best country in the world, baby. America. We take what we want. This guy, Trump, he's too much. I love him. He wants something, he gets it. He wants Greenland, he gets it. The fuck out of our way." And that's how I like to live my life. I want something, I go get it. He's a great role model. I'm sitting in the waiting room going, wow. It's quite something to read about it or hear news about it. It's quite another thing to be in the presence of the Trump fanatical energy. Wow. And I was like, okay, how do I respond? How do I react? Don't react, Liz. Protect yourself. Don't give your energy. You're not going to wake these people up out of their slumber. You're not going to bring about consciousness. Protect yourself. Tell them you'll go wait in the car and then text you when it's time for you to come in and see your doctor. So that's what I did. They texted me. I go in to see my doctor. He said, "How you doing?" I said, "Not great." I never in my life thought that I would be in a place of health, a doctor's office, and have to endure such white trash, Trump supporting, ignorant, violent banter in my life and have to go protect myself and wait in the fucking car. I never thought I'd experience that. He said, "Okay." I said, "Are you going to say something? Are you going to do something?" He said, "Yeah, I will. I don't want you to worry about it. I'll take care of it." I was like, okay. It's not far from where I live. However, he's not located in my town. And once you leave my town and you go to this area, it's like a whole different vibe, man. And it's not far from where I live. But, it's like every single yard's got pesticide signs, just they're everywhere. And the Trump signs in the yards and the pesticide signs. It's like, oh, really? Well, good. Because you know what? Hopefully you'll be spraying not only your house and your yard, but yourself. Who's the real pests around here? Of course. Yes. Spray yourself, right? What are you spraying for? Butterflies? Ladybugs? Are those what you consider pests? When you're a Trump supporting violent energy on this planet, spray yourself. Okay. How does this happen? It's happened since we got here. Since human beings arrived here on this planet, that's how long it's been happening. Greed. It's just part of human beings. And you can say maybe perhaps it was a life survival trait way back when. It's like you needed that food for you, that pile of sticks and stones to make your house for you to protect yourself and your family. Wherever, however, okay, I get it. It makes sense, right? But now, what if we took away money? What would happen? What if people did away with money and we had to go back to the barter system? How are people going to barter? Does anybody have any skills they can barter, that they can create something and barter with? This could be a big problem. Look, some of you have listened to my other podcasts. Some of you may know that I'm all about solutions. I think a solution for a lot of mental illness and violence, gun violence, any kind of physical violence, is to take away video games. Take away the video games. The video games that people are using. And I say using because, yes, it's like using hardcore drugs. Okay? The video games people are using are teaching violence, are engaging people's minds in the act of killing and making people comfortable with it. This is what they teach. And they are creating emotionally dead people who are comfortable using guns, killing people, and that's how they're getting their rush. They are becoming mentally ill. We have a population of mentally ill people because of video games. What I would love is to appeal to teachers and parents and kids who are growing up understanding technology and how to create new technology. You know what would be great? Create good video games for good. Right? Like what if kids were to create a video game where you're presented with a polluted landscape? The video game would be clean up the pollution, plant trees, create alternative energy sources. And what happens is you create this thriving, healthy community, thriving, healthy earth. What about that? Could somebody create that? Good video games. Okay. How about some of these kids? What do we do with the nuclear power plants that are here? What do we do with the waste? Because guess what? As far as we know as adults, there's nowhere to fucking put it. Hey, let's involve kids, have them make a video game, and figure out what the fuck to do with it. Let's direct science, consciously direct science to sustainable alternatives for polyester, for plastic, for power, sewage to energy, like they're doing in Portland, Oregon. Okay, I'm preaching. I know. I'm preaching.
What my body craves is the wholeness and beauty of all these gifts I've been given. I pick up the pieces, I learn to walk again, trying to create opportunity with this present.
I have been psyched and fucking amped because a couple years ago, I picked some stocks to create a portfolio for myself and my husband. And what I did was I followed the progress of Abavax and Ventex, these biopharmaceutical companies creating new drugs, small molecule, new drugs for inflammatory diseases, for autoimmune diseases. These companies have identified these small molecules and created an oral once-a-day pill that is different from the biologics available now for people with inflammatory diseases that are injectable, that shut down the immune system. These new drugs that are being created by Abavax and Ventex and others are an oral once-a-day pill that do not shut down the immune system, but work with the immune system to balance it. And they do not have all the side effects that these biologics carry. They work with the body. Throughout their trials, they've been discovering that Abavax, for example, is even better than they thought. And they're at the tail end of their trials. So I've had stock in them, and I tell everybody about it. I tell all my friends. I tell everybody I meet, buy it. Buy it now. Well, guess what? The other day I find out who's interested in buying Abavax? Eli Lilly. Eli Lilly, the largest drug company on the planet, worth over $1 trillion, are in talks with Abavax to buy them. Why? Because they don't have a robust sector to treat inflammatory diseases. And Abavax is at the tail end of their trials, just about ready to apply for FDA approval. Amazing. So my other stock, Ventex, who's interested in buying it? Eli Lilly. Eli Lilly picked both my stock picks as new drugs and companies they're interested in purchasing. Pretty fucking cool. Pretty fucking cool what's on the horizon, people. Pretty fucking cool. I tell all my doctors don't even know about this. I have to tell them, and I spell it out, and I say, get a pen, write this down, look it up. Okay, this is what's coming. I was with a gastroenterologist at Mount Sinai in Manhattan who's affiliated with Abivax. And I went to see him, and he had a fellow in his office. Somebody sitting there, a guy learning about the whole process of being a doctor, what happens, what's talked about, what's prescribed, blah, blah, blah. And I'm talking to the doctor, and we're talking about what I've been through, what I'm experiencing. And I turned to the fellow and I said, just go you could probably go take a walk. Like, you do not need to learn anything that we're talking about right now. You don't need to hone in and absorb any of this. You know why? Because the whole landscape is about to change. Okay, these new drugs, Abivax, it's going to shift the entire paradigm away from dangerous injectables to an oral, once a day, healthy alternative. And the doctor I was with said, you're right. You're right. What else? What else do I want to talk to you about? Working on music. I pulled a muscle in my abdomen. I had surgery. It was on October 23rd, and they tried to do the surgery laparoscopically. That didn't work. And the surgeon, there were 3 surgeons working on me, by the way. The main surgeon had to open me up, huge incision in my whole mid body. And since then, it's been something else, okay? Healing. I was doing exercises when I was in the hospital, right before the surgery, the day up to the surgery, and then right after the surgery, I forced myself out of that bed and went for walks and did my side-to-side stepping and all that. But the surgeon said, don't do any abdominal work. You're not ready for it. I was like, well, when am I going to be ready? And he said, around Christmas, around the end of December. Well, you know what the abdominal work I started doing was? Not what you think. It was the breath work, the diaphragmatic breathing exercises I do for my voice, because I'm sure you can hear my voice is a little shaky. And I was a singer for my entire life, and I'm still putting out music and writing songs and working with what I've got, the quiver. So I have these diaphragmatic breathing exercises which really build and strengthen your abdominal muscles. So I started doing those again recently. Guess what? I got a fucking muscle strain from it. Painful, holy shit. After the surgery, I saw a GI, and I had sent over the pathology report to her. And I was sitting in her office, and she's reading it to me. She's like, okay, you had your right colon removed. You had your left colon removed. You had your appendix removed. I was like, wait, what? Back up. What did you say? I had what removed? She said, well, you had half your colon removed and you had your appendix removed. I said, you got to be fucking kidding me. Really? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Nobody told me that. When I got home later that night, I sent a message to my surgeon in the portal. I said, hey, Dr. G, I learned you took out half my colon and my appendix. You didn't tell me that. The next thing I know, my phone rings. It's him. He said, Liz, I am so sorry. I apologize. When I first saw your MRI, CT scan results, I had a vision of exactly what I needed to do to get rid of everything unhealthy and get you better. And I am so sorry I didn't explain exactly what it was that I had to do. He said, I looked at everything else. It was no good. I couldn't reattach to any of it. It was garbage. I had to get rid of it. I had to wrestle with your colon and your appendix like an alligator. They didn't want to come out. I had to wrestle with them. Okay? And I'm sorry. I didn't tell you. I was like, all right, I forgive you. Fine. You know? I was mad though. I was mad for a second that he took all this stuff, that he took my stuff. And he didn't tell me. I was like, hey man, that's my stuff. Like, give it back. Put it back, right? Oh well. It's gone. He's cool. So I'm working on all my logos, all my designs for clothing. Did I tell you about that? Printing on jean jackets, and I'll be posting some stuff on my Instagram, which I don't know if any of you have checked out. It's a mishmash. It's a mashup of things that I've done: music, stand-up, art, poetry. It's just a place I put it all, Why? Because I'm a multidimensional being, like a tree. Like, we're all like trees, really. We're tree people, okay? We've got the trunk, and we've got branches coming off of us. And each branch is a gift, a talent, a part of ourself that we tend to and express, hopefully, right? It's not easy. It's not easy to give love and time and nurture all of our branches off our trunk, but you try. You do the best you can. Grab a second here, grab a second there, do a doodle, hum a song, whatever it is that you do, right? All right. That was a lot, man. Thank you so much for hanging, and thank you for spending time with me. Sending so much love. So that's a wrap. Thank you so much for listening. It was great hanging out with you. For more information, go to my website, alyssasequoia.com. Peace out, friend.